Alright guys, now in this part we're going to be taking care of the rims. As you can see, I have already finished it and it came out great, but I still missed a few things in the process of the modeling, and you can see that it's not exactly the same as the one we have here. We only have a few things to change. Alright, so sorry I couldn't have enough time to create tutorials lately. That's because I couldn't get the time to do so. And as a matter of fact, I had to wake up in the middle of the night. Not in the middle of the night, at dawn, to actually record this part. That's why you can see my voice is heavy, because it sounds like I just woke up. Alright, so without much time wasted, I think we should jump into this. It's gonna take a while, so I'm going to be time-lapsing a lot, because if I should record the entire thing without time-lapsing, it's gonna take over an hour. So I'm gonna be time-lapsing a lot in this one, and hopefully you guys are able to get it as well. So let's go ahead and hide this, and while we do so, I just want to let you guys know that we finally have a Discord server. I said this in our previous videos. If you didn't see it, there's a link in the description for you guys to join the server, so just go ahead and then do so. Alright, so before we get started, I'm going to take everything. You can see I hit the rim. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move it to the backup, because I don't think I'm going to need that for this. So let me take everything else and then hide it. Now first off, let me bring the rim back. Okay, now I want to make sure it's right in the center. For you, it's not going to be in the center, so what you're going to do is you're just going to try to left click to bring it into the center. Okay, so try to move your mouse to the center like this, and then right click to bring the 3D cursor in that center there. But because I have a rim in the middle there, all I can do is to just press Shift and S and choose cursor to select it. That's it. Alright, now I'm going to take this rim now and I'm going to move it to the backup, and I'm going to hide everything else. Alright, so if we take a look at the entire rim, you can see we have only about one, I want to call this a spike or whatever you want to call it. So we have one spike here, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 spikes, and then in the middle here we have some space. Now what I think is each of the spike here, for the spike here, it takes about 5 spikes to fill out this whole entire space we have here. So including this one, we have 6 spikes. All right, so that means the entire the entire rim is going to be filled with 6 spikes. All right, so this spike right here is made up of 6 spikes, which is a 1/5 of the entire rim. I don't know if that makes any sense. So 6 spikes, 1/5 of the entire rim. Okay, so we're just going to model this bit over here, and then just rotate it or spin it around 5 times to make the entire rim. I'm not sure, I don't think that will make any sense until we actually finish the main thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a circle. Now since this spike here, 5 of them fill this area and only one fills, there's one here and then 5 of them fills this area, then we have 6 spikes on 1/5 of the entire rim. So we're going to have to add in a circle with the number of vertices being the multiples of 5. I don't know if that makes any sense. So we're going to press Shift and A and then add in a mesh circle. Alright, now first of all, I'm going to set the rotation. Let me bring this menu up. Let me set the rotation for the y-axis to be 90. Okay, just to rotate it 90 degrees, as you can see. And then we're just going to drop the scale down, so it should be somewhere here. Yeah, so that's the radius. We're going to drop the radius down to something small. So let's just drop it down until we have it on that circle over here. Now you're going to have to move things around to kind of fit it with the circle, but since I have mine already in the center, it shouldn't give me too much issues. So I'm going to try and then fit it on top of the circle. So some point like that, maybe pull it out a bit. So I think something like that should be good. Alright, so we need it to be multiples of 5, but how much do we want to go with? First of all, let's try 5 times 6, because we have 6 of this in here. Okay, so 6 of this in here, and then times 5, that's going to be 30. Okay, so we are going to type in 30 to type in 30 in there. And then that should give us the number of vertices to be 30 all around. Now with that done, what I'm going to do is you can see we have an edge over here which defines the spike we have down here. So what I'm going to do now is I don't want to go with 30. I need extra amount of vertices, so I'm going to multiply this by 2 it's still going to be a multiple of 5 just multiplied by 2. So we're going to have 60 instead of 30. Alright, there we go. So now let me go into edit mode, and this is what we have. Alright, very nice. So right here you can see this is not aligned with this area right here, and this is not aligned with this area right here. So first off, let me scale this down to this right here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to rotate it in the x-axis just so they are aligned with their corresponding line, like so. So you can see it's matching very nicely. Alright, now once we do that, each and every single one should have its own, as you can see right there, like that. Alright, so we're just going to take, this is the one, this entire edge here is the 1/5 that I was talking about. Okay, so we're going to be working on this area, and then we're just going to spin it around to create the other areas. So before we get started, let me just take it, instead of selecting just this 1/5, I'm going to add 1 in here and then select it beyond all the way to this side. Okay, and I'm going to press Ctrl and I and delete every other vertices. Alright, so this is a bit tricky to model the rim. Modeling rims are a bit tricky because you want it to be symmetrical as much as possible, just so it spins very naturally without any issues. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those two vertices, and then we have the cursor in the center of the rim. Okay, we want the cursor to be in the center of the rim. If it's somewhere else, just get out of edit mode, press Shift and S, and choose cursor to select it, and make sure it's in the center of the rim. Alright, now I'm going to take these two vertices, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude this. Okay, so first of all, before we actually extrude it, what we want to do is let's just press the period on the keyboard. So I'm going to press the period on the keyboard, the one close to the M button. I'm going to press the period, and I'm going to select 3D cursor. Alright, so now it's going to take the orientation point, or the orientation to 3D cursor. Is the orientation? I think it's called orientation. The pivot point to the 3D cursor. Alright, then we're going to press E to extrude these two vertices, and we're going to press S to scale it towards the 3D cursor. Alright, so you can see they are scaling very proportionally, almost like they're a mirror, but they're not a mirror. Just make sure that is happening for you as well, and then just scale it down to somewhere there like that. And I'm going to change it from the 3D cursor back to the median point, just so we can scale it out like so. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing here. I'm basically just making sure they're very much sort of like a mirror of each other. And then once we've put it on that on the line as needed, we're going to extrude again, but first we're going to switch to 3D cursor, and I'm going to press E and then S to scale it towards the 3D cursor again, and then we're going to go back to median point and then scale this out. So we're just going to be alternating between between median point and 3D cursor, just to create the extrusion all around that area. Okay, so right here, around here somewhere, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this piece over here. Okay, this one right here, and I think we didn't actually have one over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm quickly going to add in the circle again. So let me just add in the circle, rotate it by 90 degrees. We could just do that manually by pressing R and Y and typing in 90. Now I just want to get a single vertex out of this. Okay, so let me just scale this down, and then let's make sure it is aligned with the other vertices we have here. So I'm just going to press R to rotate this like so in the x-axis, just so it matches with it like that. And I'm going to scale it out some more, just zooming in. I'm just going to zoom in and then rotate again, just to make sure it's matching just as much as possible. So all that we need is this vertex over here, this vertex here, and we're going to need this one as well. Okay, and now let's change the pivoting point to 3D cursor again. We're going to Shift and D this, and then S to scale it down right into the center like so. So you can see what I was trying to do. I'm just trying to get that vertex to be directly in the center of the symmetrical point of that area right there. So we have each of those in there. Now we can just delete the circle that we added back in like that. Alright, now I'm going to take these two and press F, take these two and press F. So you can see how the step is going. We're just going to be alternating between 3D cursor and median point, and hopefully that is able to do the trick for us. So let me see. I think right here I'm going to send this down to be flat with this area right here because I think it's flat in the reference image instead of rounded. So I want to keep it flat instead of rounded, and I don't think we want to do it to just that. We want to do it to both of them. So we're going to press G twice, slide it up, and then C, and then we're going to slide it down to some point there like that. Alright, so I'm going to use the same technique, which was the switching between the 3D cursor and the medium point to create this area as well. But first of all, I'm going to add in 3 vertices in here. I'm going to deselect this and dissolve the other 2, and I'm going to add 3 in here as well. Deselect this, dissolve the other 2. And now let's use the same technique to create the inner area. Is it the inner area or the outer area, whatever it is, of this piece over here. Alright, so this is what we have so far, and you can see it came out great. So let me just take 1, 2, 3, 4 and press F, and I'm going to take these 2 and press F twice. I'm going to do the same thing here, take 1, 2, 3, 4, press F, take these 2 and press F twice. Alright, so you can see what we have. It's looking really good. Now I'm going to add in about, I don't know, 5 loop cuts in the middle here, and let's add in 5 in the middle here as well. And let me just put 2 in here, 2 in here as well, and you can see that it's coming out really great. Alright, so what we're going to do next is, I think we have to define the angle of the inner vertices in here. Okay, so to do that, what we're going to do is, let's get out of edit mode, making sure the 3D cursor is on the selected object. We're going to add in another mesh circle, and then let's just rotate it in the x-axis by 90. The y-axis by 90, just so it's facing us. And I'm going to scale it beyond the actual size of the whole thing, and I'm going to press F, go into wireframe, and let's insert this down to where it starts to bend. Okay, so if you take a look in here, you can see it starts to bend around here somewhere. Alright, so I'm just going to scale that down to somewhere here. We don't want this edge over here to be affected, so we're just going to put it right below it like that. I'm going to insert one more time to some point like there, and there we go. Alright, so let's get out of that, and then in here, what we're going to do is, out here, what we're going to do is, I'm going to pull this in the x-axis to be the angle that we think is the angle, to match the angle that we think it is. Alright, so I think that would be pretty good of an angle. So let me just take the whole thing, select object and select shade smooth. And then let me just add in a subdivision surface at level 2. Okay, so now let me take this edge over here. We don't want it to be rounded, so we're just going to press Ctrl B to add in a bevel. And then let's increase the amount to 5, like so. And let's bring this menu up and increase the shape to 1, just so it is a hard edge bevel, not a rounded bevel, as you can see right there. Alright, now let's get out of that, and let's take this, let's get onto the side view. Now we're going to take everything we have below, that's all of these here, not the ones above, and then we're going to change the pivoting, the snapping element to face. Just make sure it's set to face, and make sure you have project individual elements enabled. And then let's just press G and then hold down Control and press enter like that. Now let's take this and let's hide it. And this is what we'll have. As you can see, I think it's pretty good of an angle that's matching the actual rim. If it's not too steep enough for you, you could just bring back the main the guide measure, and you could pull it in some more, which I'm going to do right now because I don't think it's steep enough. I'm just going to pull it in some more, just a little bit more like that. And I'm going to get out of that, take this, go in there, let's get onto the side, press G, hold Control and press enter. And now we can hide that now. Okay, so I think this is pretty good enough. I'm going to keep it there like that. Now let's get onto the side view and let's proceed. Alright, so right here, what we're going to do is I want to duplicate this to this side right here, okay, just so we can create or finish this area right here. So let me just take all of this right here, and I'm going to shift and D this. First off, let's change the pivoting point to 3D cursor. I'm going to shift and D this, and then scale it in the Y axis and type in -1. Alright, like that. Now you can see it's not matching this as much. So what we're going to do is, technically we don't want to duplicate that, because I feel like it's already in the right direction. So don't duplicate that, skip the duplication, and let's just press Shift and D to duplicate this. Right click to keep it in place. What I mean is we shouldn't scale it in the inverse direction is what I mean. So we're going to press R now to rotate this in the x-axis. We're just going to rotate it like this until it falls directly on top of that one. So we're going to zoom in to make sure it actually does. So I'm just going to zoom into this area. Let me just rotate it again. Make sure it falls directly on it. So let me just rotate it. I think it's already on it, so we don't need to rotate it some more. Let's take a look up here. Alright. Now I'm going to press A and then press M, and we should merge by distance. We should get rid of 4 vertices. Yeah, is it 4? Yeah, I think it's 4 because we don't have 1 in here. So I'm just going to press Ctrl and R through here. Let's add in 3. Or, yeah, I think, is it 3 or 2? Yeah, it's in here as well. So let's add in, it's in here instead. So we're going to add in 3 vertices. Get rid of this one. Deselect that one and dissolve the rest of the vertices. Now let's take the whole thing and merge by distance, and it should get rid of that extra vertex there. Alright, so now that should be 1, 2, 3, 4, and where is the 5th one? Yeah, I think the 5th one was an extra edge over there. So that was the 1st one. Alright, so let me take these two vertices here, and let's just press G twice and slide it up a bit just so it is sort of flat over there. We're going to keep here as it is. So let me just delete this one that we have over here. We don't need that for now. We just need these ones here. And I'm going to create the inner area here, which I'm just going to time lapse through because I feel like you guys should be able to do that. So first off, let me just take this and then Shift and D this and then scale it in like so. And I'm going to change back to median point, scale this out to there. And hopefully from here you guys should be able to get it. So I'm just going to time lapse through. Alright, so this is what we're going to have once we're done creating that area. As you can see, we have the entire vertices going in there. Hopefully you're able to get that as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take 1, 2, 3, 4 and press F. And I'm going to take these 2 and press F all around that area just to fill it in very nicely like that. Alright, so that came out great. Now we're going to take this, let's get onto the front view. We're just going to move this in the x-axis just like so. We're going to pull it in a reasonable amount like that. As you can see, I want to make sure this is the active element. Okay, so we're going to switch the pivoting point to active element this time, and let's get onto the front view and let's move this in some more. And I'm just going to press Ctrl Alt Shift S and then X, and let's just share this outward towards the outlet of the rim, the outside of the rim like that. Let me just add a bit more slope, so like so, and let me just move this in a bit. Alright, now what I want to do is we're going to take all of this from here all the way to there, and let's just make sure this is the active element. I'm just going to press S. I'm just going to press S and then X and type in 0. Alright, just so it is flat like that. Now I'm going to take this from here all the way to there, and let me just get onto the front view again. Now as you can see, we're going to share this one as well in the X, just so it is matching the angle over here like that. So you can see what I'm trying to do here, just making sure the angle is matched just like that, and also the top is pretty much straight like so. Alright, very nice. Now let me just take the whole thing and move it in a bit more. Alright, so that gives us this area very, very nicely. So let me just press Ctrl and R through here, pull it all the way to the top, and I'm going to move it in the x-axis just a little bit. So move it in the x-axis just a little bit like so. I don't think that area is supposed to move in, so let me just press G twice and bring this down, press E, and then align it with the top and pull it close like some point there. And I'm going to take the ones on top instead. That's all of these. I'm going to slide it all the way up, and I'm going to press G and then X, and I'm going to pull this in until it is at the same level of this edge here. So I'm just moving in the x-axis. I'm not sliding it back in, as you can see. very nicely like that. All right, nice. All right, so now let's get onto the side view, and then we're going to work on this area some more as well. So let me just go into edit mode. So I'm going to take this, hide it, and I'm going to take that and hide it. Let's take all of this, press Alt and H to bring everything back. I'm going to Shift and D this and rotate this in the x-axis all the way to some point there. So we're just going to make sure it's in the center by just making sure this area right here falls on top of this vertex, this metal vertex here. So let me just zoom in. And let's just make sure it falls on the middle vertex. Zoom in as far as you can and just align it with the vertex right there. Alright, so now let me just deselect all of the ones here. And then the rest of the vertices we have selected here, we're just going to press X and delete the vertices. Now let's merge by distance, and you should get rid of only one vertex, as you can see down there. Alright, very nice. Now I'm going to create the area in the middle here. Okay, so that should be pretty easy as well. I'm just going to time lapse through it. Alright, so this is what we have. As you can see, I added in a 5 vertices on each side right here. And I'm going to put one more up here and maybe one more down here. Yeah, I think that should be good. Alright, now over here we have to add in the circular area. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these two and press Shift and S and choose cursor to select it. Or we could just, I'm not sure. Maybe we could just go with that. Okay, so let's add in the mesh circle. I'm going to make sure the sides are just 10, not 60. So we're going to type in 10 in the vertices area right here. And I'm going to rotate this in the y-axis and type in 90. Now let's scale it down to be the right size, like so. I'm going to scale it up some more. So like that. As you can see, we have to rotate this a bit. So let me just move this down in the z-axis first. And then I'm going to rotate it a bit in the x-axis, towards the 3D cursor. So let me get out of that, press Shift and S and choose cursor to select it. So the 3D cursor is back to the center, and let's go into edit mode. Let's change this to 3D cursor, and I'm just going to rotate this like that, and then change back to median point, and then scale this down. So we're just going to make sure this vertex and this vertex fall exactly on each edge over here like that. So you can see right here we have this falling on the edge, but this one is not. So I'm just going to change back to 3D cursor. I'm going to rotate a little bit like that, just so each of them are falling off a little bit. I'm going to change back to median point and then scale it down again, just so it's falling on it. So we're just going to have to zoom in to make sure it's actually falling on each of them. So you can see this one still have a bit of a gap. So let's check this one as well. And this one actually doesn't. So let's switch back to 3D cursor. I'm just going to rotate this to fall on this area right here. I'm just going to scale it out in the median point. So let's change back to median and then scale this out to fall on the edge like that. Now let's take a look at this one as well, see if it falls on the edge directly. And as you can see, it does. So there we go. So we have it directly where we need it to be. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to rotate this. I don't know if we should rotate it in the x-axis by 90, maybe, or not. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep it as it is because I wanted to rotate it, but I think I'm going to keep it as it is, maybe. So let me just move this in the x-axis to some point there, like that. Come on. Let's get onto the front view, see what we have. So this is what we have so far. I'm just going to move this to, I'm not sure, some point. We have, let's just take, okay. Let's just take this, make it the active element, and let's press SN and X and type in 0 just so it is aligned with it. I think that might be too far out. So let's take this one instead. Press SN and X, type in 0, and I think that should be pretty good. Alright, now let me take this, get onto the front view, and let's see what we have. Very nice. So let me just take it from here all the way to here and then to there, making sure that is the active element. Let's get to the front view. I'm going to press Ctrl Alt Shift S and then X, and then just share this to match the angle right here like that. So you can see the angle I'm trying to match here, this angle right here, right here. So just trying to match that angle some more, like so. And there we go. And I think that should be pretty good for that area. Maybe I might actually have to move this in a little bit, not too far in, just a little bit like that. Maybe a little bit out, like so. And that should be pretty good. So that means we have to take this one and move it in as well. So let me just get to the front view and let's move it in the y-axis like that, very nicely. Alright, so this one I'm going to match with the angle we have on the outside. So this, let me just match the angle first, and let me pull this inside to fall on it so we can match it some more. So let's just match it some more to match the angle way better. Alright, so there we go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take 1, 2, 3, 4 and press F, and I'm going to take these two, press F. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, press F, and take these two, press F all the way to there. And I'm going to do the same thing here. Press F, take these two, press F all the way to there. Alright, so I think that came out super great. And what we want to do now is I'm going to take this one right here. Okay, so let me add in an edge, pull it all the way to the top, and I'm going to move it in the x-axis to the inside like that. Let me make this the active element, press S and then X and type in 0, just so it's the same level with it, as you can see. Okay, maybe not. Let's undo that and let's slide this in instead. So let me just move it in the x-axis instead. I'm just gonna move it in like that. Alright, very nice. Now let's press Shift and N to recalculate the normals, and let's get a good look at this. Alright, not bad. Now I'm gonna take let me just add one in here. I'm gonna take 1, 2, 3, 4 and press F. Take this to press F once. Okay, not bad. And what are we gonna do next? I'm gonna take 1, 2, 3, 4 and press F. Let's do the same thing on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4 and press F. Okay, not bad, not bad. Everything is coming out great. Alright, so right here, I'm not sure, but let's take all of this ones over here. Okay, and let me deselect that one, and let me just press E and then X and extrude this down to about there. Yeah, I think so. Let me undo that and then add this one as well. Okay, just so we can extrude it in the same amount. So I'm just gonna press E and then X, extrude this in like that. I think that's pretty far in enough. Let me just move it some more inside like so. And I'm gonna take these two and press F once like that. And I'm gonna do the same thing here. So take 1, 2 and press F once. Okay, very nice. We'll fix it much better later. So let me take this as well, these two, and extrude it in the x-axis to that side. Take these two, press F once. Take these two and press F once. Alright, very nice. So let me take 1, 2, 3, press F, and 1, 2, 3 and press F. Alright, so everything is coming out great. I think I'm gonna add in 2 in the middle here, and let's see how we can work on that area as well. I'm gonna put 1 or 2, I'm not sure. Let's put in 2 in that area as well. So let me just take 1, 2, 3, 4 and press F, and take 1, 2, 3, 4 and press F. Take these two, press F once. Take that 2 and press F once. Alright, not bad. It's coming out great. And yeah, let me try taking these 4 and pressing F. And that means we can take these 2 and press F. Okay, so that leaves us with this area right here. And how are we gonna work with this area? Let me take this, press F, and press F here once. 3 F once. Alright, so you guys had to see how to clean up the mesh a little bit to make it look better. Even though it's still not looking too great, I think we can get away with this. So I only did it on this side. We have to duplicate it to this side now. So let me just get to the front view, the side view, and let's duplicate it to the other side. So I'm just going to take all of these here. That's all of the ones in the center, directly in the center. I'm going to hide all of those, and let's take all of this and delete the vertices. Alright, now let me press Alt and H. And I'm going to move back in here as well. Take all of this. We're going to hide that. Take that. Hide it. Is that the one? I think it's this instead. Hide it. And let's take everything. Press Alt and H to bring it back. I'm going to Shift and D this. Scale it in the Y-axis. Type in -1. And now we're going to rotate this. I think we scaled it in the wrong direction. So let me just change this to 3D Kaiser. And let's try that again. So Shift and D. Scale in the Y-axis -1. Yeah, I think that's right. Now we're going to rotate this. We're going to rotate this to fall right on top of it like that, just like we did before. I'm just going to rotate it to fall on it like so. Sorry, I'm extruding. Yeah, so rotate to fall directly on top of it like that. And now we can take the whole thing, press M, and merge by distance. Alright, very nice. So you got rid of 6 vertices. Hopefully that's right. Is this 6 vertices we want to get rid of? Nope. Yeah, no. I think we have the Kaiser right in the center. So why is it doing that though? And now let me just take this to merge at center instead. Okay, so we're going to do that for all of them all the way down below. So modeling a rim isn't entirely easy. It's very complicated at some point in time. This is one of the most complex, what do you call it? It looks simple, but it's one of those complex rims. One of the most complex rims I've made. Alright, so there we go. You can see we merged the entire thing very nicely. And it's looking really good. Now let me get to the side view again. I want to fix this area. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to take that. I'm going to press G twice and then C. Sorry, that's the wrong direction. So G twice and then, sorry, G twice and C. And let's slide this down to some point there like that. And I'm going to take each of them. Let's take this and slide it on top of this one right here. Beneath it, and then slide this also beneath that one right there. Just so it is matching very, very nicely. Let me see if I can merge this to this. Shouldn't give any issues. Okay, let's undo that and keep it as it is. Or we could just merge this to this instead at last. Yeah, I think that's best. I'm going to merge this to this as well at last. And there we go. Alright, now let me get onto the side view and let's see what we can do. So let me press Shift and N to recalculate the normals for all of them. And let me get onto the side view. And now we're going to add in another circle. And we're going to keep this at, let's delete that. And let's take the outer ones here instead. So that's all of this. And we're going to Shift and D this. I'm going to scale it in to some point there like that. I think we have extra vertices in here. Which one is that? I think that's the outer or inner one. Let's see. Yeah, I think it's this one right here. So we're going to dissolve the inner one that we have over there. Alright, so I'm going to get rid of all of these vertices here, as you can see. And this is what we have. And I'm going to select the entire thing, click on the select button here and select checker deselect. Alright, just so it checker deselects what do you call it? Some of the vertices we have in here, but you can see it did it wrongly. So we're going to have to do this ourselves. So let me just select them one by one. And I'm going to press X to dissolve those vertices. And there we go. Alright, now I'm going to take one. Let's get rid of this one as well. I don't know where that came from. I'm going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, press F. And I'm going to take these two. And let's press F. Okay, that's not working. I think we filled the wrong one. Yeah. So let me take this, take that. Make sure we have the pivoting point set to active element and press S and X and type in 0. Alright, I'm going to take 1, 2, 3, 4. Press F. Take these two. And press F all the way to there. Alright, very nice. Oh, hold on. We didn't extrude. How did this happen though? Wow. I have no idea how that happened. So S and X, and we're going to type in 0. Just so it is aligned with it very nicely. Okay, there we go. All right, now let's try that again. So we're gonna fill that all the way to there. Okay, very nice. Now let me take all of these, including these ones right here, and let's make sure this is the active element. So we're just gonna press S and then X and type in 0, like so. Okay, very nice. All right, so now let's get onto the side. Let me take this one next. All right, and we're gonna extrude it in the X-axis. Press S and then X and type in 0 to flatten it. Let's press G and then X and pull this in to about there. I think we're gonna have to go in some more, so let's pull it into some point there, like so. Let me pull it out a bit more. I'm gonna press F to fill this and then I to insert it. I'm gonna press X to delete the faces. All right, very nice. So that came out great, super nice. All right, now let me just press Ctrl and R3 here to add in an extra edge. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm just going to take all of these, all right, and then all of that. Okay, and let's get onto the side view. Okay, now I'm feeling like this one wasn't necessary. This extra one we had here wasn't necessary. So let me see. Let me dissolve that edge. So dissolve edges. Yeah, it definitely wasn't necessary. So we're gonna have to make sure the spaces in between these ones are now equal. So I'm just gonna select the edges all around. Alright, so with them selected now, we're just going to press W and choose Loop Tools and choose Space, just to make sure the spaces are nice and evened out, as you can see. Now, I think I want to make this side a quad instead, because I feel like the angle is too edgy. I feel like it's too edgy over there. So I'm just going to press F to make it like that. I'm going to take this to, let's press J and see what that gives us. Alright, not bad. Let me just slide this in here and then slide it back down to there. Let's see what that gives us. All right, super nice. I'm going to take these two as well. Press J. And okay, we have to dissolve this edge first. So let's dissolve that edge. Take these two, press J. Now let's take this, slide it all the way out and then back down. So we can just use the loop tools in this area again. So loop tools, space, and then take these two again, loop tools, and then space. And there we go. All right, very nice. Let me just press Shift and N. Make sure the normals are accurately calculated, as you can see. All right, very nice. Let me just take these two. I kind of want to slide them out a bit, so let me just slide it out to about some point there. Yeah, I just wanted to slide them out. I actually wanted to slide them out. Now let me take these two and press J. Now I know we have a lot of triangles going on, but that shouldn't give us any problems, because it shouldn't give us any problems is what I mean. All right, so there we go. That is looking good in that area now. Okay, and now what we want to do is to take all of these edges now. That's all of this. That's from here to there, and then from here all the way to there. And then we make sure the 3D cursor is in the center, and then we're going to change the pivoting point to 3D cursor. Get onto the side view. We're going to press S, and right after pressing S, we're going to press Shift and X. So we do not scale it in the X-axis, all right, just in the Y and the Z-axis. So it's going to scale this down just so it is rounded. So we're going to keep it rounded like so. So just scale it in a bit like so, just to keep that area rounded like that, as you can see. So we can try that again. So S and then Shift and X to scale it in some more. So I'm just going to do it a bit more, and there we go. Now let's press Shift and N to recalculate the normals. And you can see the tutorial is getting longer and longer, but we just have to finish this. So let me just get onto the side view. And I think we have pretty much everything. So I'm just going to take all of this, take all of that, and let's extrude it in the X-axis just a little bit like so. And that should be pretty good. All right. I think we have to do it for this side as well. So let's take this one as well. So E and then X, extrude it inside like so. I think that might be too much. Let me just pull it back in like that, and that should be pretty good. All right, now I'm going to take all of this. That's from here all the way to there, and then from here all the way to there. And you know what? I don't think we need the entire thing. So I'm just going to take all of this and delete the vertices. And I'm going to take all of that, delete the vertices, and let's delete everything we have down below, just so we have just this piece over here like that. All right, so now we're going to take this edges here from here all the way to there. I'm going to take this one as well from here all the way to there, like that. Okay, so what we're going to do with this area is we're just going to extrude it. Let me take a look in this area. Yeah, so we're going to take this one as well, all of this. Now we're going to extrude these in the x-axis some more. So it's going to extrude it some more to about some point there, like that, as you can see. All right, very nice, not bad. Now let me just take 1, 2, 3, 4 and press F. Take 1, 2, 3, 4 and press F. All right, very nice. Now we're going to take these two, press F all the way down to the center right there. Now we don't want to go beyond that, so we're just going to keep it there for now. And I'm going to take these two as well, do the same thing. So we're going to press F all the way to some point there, like that. All right, very nice. So what are we going to do with this center area right here? I think I'm not sure. We just want to fill this area in. So what I'm going to do is come on, think. Okay, let's take all of these. Shift and D is in the x-axis. Take this as the active element, switch the active element, press S and then X and type in 0. And we're going to take 1 and then 2, press F, and then take this and then that as well and press F. Alright, very nice. So now we can take 1, 2, 3, 4, press F, take these two now, 1, and then 2, and press F, like that. And this area right here, let me just take 1, 2, 3, 4, and press F. I'm going to take 1, 2, 3, 4 here as well. Come on. And press F on that as well. I feel like we have an issue with this area here. Do we? Yeah, we definitely do. So let me just get rid of this vertex. Let me take this, extrude it in the x-axis again. Take that S and then X, type in 0. And I'm going to take these two and press F. And let's just take this 4 and press F. Let's make sure there's not the same problem here, which there isn't, so we're good. Alright, now let me just press Ctrl and R3 here, adding an edge loop, and I'm going to take 1 and 2 and press F. I don't know, once, and let me just press F here, take these two now, and press F once to fill that area. Alright, I want to do the same thing here, press F once, take this 3, F, take that 2, and press F once. Alright, so there we go. I just wanted to fill that area much better, and as you can see, I did. Alright, now let me just take this, get onto the side view again, and I'm just going to extrude this, scale it towards the 3D Keza. So let's switch to 3D Keza. I'm going to scale it towards the 3D Keza to the outside a bit, just to create that lip we're seeing in here. Let me get onto this side. Okay, so we want to scale, Shift and then X, just so it doesn't scale in the x-axis. Is it still scaling? Yeah, just so it doesn't scale in the x-axis. Hold on, let me try that again. So I want to take the whole thing, extrude, scale, Shift and then X, and just scale it down to about some point there. Let me get to the front view. Alright, we're good. We're good on this angle as well. Alright, let me just slide it out a bit because I think it's too much. And now I want to extrude it in the x-axis just a little bit like that. Maybe a bit more, like so. And let me take this, Shift and D, move it in the x-axis. Actually, I think it goes beyond that. So let's take this one instead, press E and then S and then Shift and X, and then scale this out to about some point there. Alright, now that takes us to this part right here. Let me get to the side view. We're going to extrude that and scale it out to some point there, like so. And there we go. And let me get to the front view now. Alright, we're pretty good. And I'm gonna, if you didn't get it on top of the tire like you're seeing here, you can see I have it on top of the tire and a bit offset it in. If yours is somewhere around this area, just move it in the x-axis. Just move it in the x-axis, just so you have a tiny bit of space between it and the tire right here, and the tire blueprint right here, like that. Alright, now we can take this edge over here, get onto the front view, and let's extrude it in the x-axis. Okay, so we don't want to align it exactly with the blueprint line, so I'm just going to press B for the ruler, just so I can see where we are over here, and I'm just going to move it a bit more, so just a bit more. Let's press B again and take a look. Alright, so I think that is pretty good. I'm just going to keep it there. Alright, very nice. So now let's take this one as well, and extrude it in the x-axis. Make this the active element. Switch the pivoting point to active element, press S and an X and type in 0. Alright, now I'm going to take the whole thing now. I'm going to press space and say bridge edge loops. Alright, so I'm going to type in bridge edge loops like so. Alright, very nice. Okay, so let's take the whole thing, press Shift and N to recalculate the normals, and you can see this is what we have. So we have all that we need to actually rotate around to create the entire rim. So now what we have to do now is to create the edges. Okay, so if we go ahead and shade this smooth, you can see what we have, which is quite good, but we now have to add in the edges like I said. So let's go back in here and let's go to edge select mode. Alright, what is going on? Okay, there we go. So I'm going to take all of this edge. So we're going to select all of the edges that need selection. I'm just going to do that by time lapsing through this part. Alright, so now you can see I have the necessary edges selected. So hopefully you do as well. Now what we're going to do is to go over to the Objects Data tab right here. I'm going to enable Auto Smooth and set this all the way to 180. Now with all those edges selected, we're just going to press Ctrl E and select Mark Sharp like that. Now let me just press N, and then let me just go over to the item section here. I'm going to increase the mean bevel weight all the way to 1 like that. Alright, very nice. Just make sure you have the mean bevel weight set to 1, okay? Just so we can use that to adding bevel in case we don't like what we see here. Now this is good and all, but I think I'm just gonna add in a bevel modifier to actually make it look much better, because the sharp edges aren't actually doing it for me. So let me just disable the auto smooth. Now if you want to go with the sharp edges instead of the bevel, because the bevel goes ahead and adding extra vertices, but you want to keep this low poly, then you can just go with that instead of adding in the bevel. That's why I applied the bevel and also apply the sharpness. So if you need the sharpness, you just have to enable the auto smooth. If you don't, disable it and go over to the modifiers tab and adding a bevel modifier like that. I'm going to set this to 2, and I'm going to set the limit method to weight like that. So that's going to set it to weight for us. And let me just go over to the profile. I'm going to increase the shape to 1 instead of 0.5, just like that. And you can see that is looking super good. Alright, so I think that will do it for the rim. Now all that we have left to do is to just spin this around. So let me just get to the side view and hopefully we didn't make any mistakes, so this should go as smoothly as expected. So let me just get out of this, press Shift and S, and then choose cursor to select it. Just make sure this cursor is in the center of the rim. If it's not in the center of the rim, it's not gonna work. Then you're just gonna have to start the whole entire process again. Okay, so just make sure the cursor is in the exact center of the rim. Okay, so now we're going to take this entire thing and we're going to press spacebar and then type in spin. Okay, so just select that spin to add in the spin, and we're going to bring this menu up and let's drop this down to 5, and we're going to enable use duplicates instead of span geometry, and then there we go. So you can see it actually filled it in for us. So for some reason, if you use the spin tool, it adds in an extra 1 over here. Okay, as you can see. So we can just press X and delete the vertices, and now we can take what we have left, and then we can just press. Hold on. There's a problem here. Let me undo all that. Yes, there's certainly a problem here. You can see we don't have an edge here, but we do have it here. So how we can fix that is, let's fix that real quick. Now these are issues that you might face in rim modeling. It's quite some stuff like this are just inevitable. It's most likely you meet them along the way. So we just take these center vertices here and just hide them, and we can take all of the ones we have here and delete it. Now let's press Alt and H to bring everything back. Let's take the whole thing, change the pivoting point to 3D cursor. I'm going to press Shift and D, scale it in the y-axis and type in -1 like that. And now we're just going to rotate it based on the 3D cursor just to fall right in the center. So we're going to press R and X and rotate this to fall directly on top of it. So R, oh no, not extrude, R and then X. I'm just going to rotate it to fall directly on it. So we're just going to zoom in some more, R and then X, just so it falls directly on top of it like that. Alright, let's make sure all of them do, which you can see they all do. Alright, so let's just press M and then merge by distance, and that should merge the center very nicely for us. Now you can see we have some artifact in there. We can fix that by just pressing Shift and N to recalculate the normals, and there we go. Alright, very nice. Just zoom into this area, see what we are having here. Okay, I think, let me just take this and then this. Let me switch to active element and press SN and Y and type in 0. I don't know, for some reason it's not following along with it. I'm going to do the same thing here, SN and Y, type in 0, and let me do the same thing here. Alright, so I think that should be pretty good, or it should help a bit. Alright, very nice. So now we can get onto the side view and let's spin this again. So spin, and let's just make sure we enable the use duplicates. The previous value you used should already be in there, so we shouldn't have to change that. I'm going to press X and delete the vertices, and let's take everything else and merge by distance, and it should get rid of 105 vertices. Hopefully that's the right amount, and there we go. So that's our rim. So you can see it came out super great, very nice, and it's looking really good. Alright, so I'm gonna end this part over here. Now I don't think I needed the bevel in the middle here. I didn't need the bevel in the middle here, so let's go ahead and then get rid of that. Alright, so there we go. So you can see it's looking really good. So yeah, there we go. It came out really great. Now this side has some edges artifacts in here, but that shouldn't be a problem. It's due to this clustered vertices we have over here, but since the tire is going to be covering that, that should not be a problem. Alright, so I think I'm going to end the video here because I think it's getting way too long. I wanted us to finish the knot and stuff, but I'm going to leave that up to you. Just do the knots yourself. This knots here, and the sign we have in the middle here. Okay, you can just duplicate the one we have on the hood on top of that, and that should fill that area very nicely. And then in the next part we should probably finish the tire and everything that we need to finish. So everything else is up to you. You're gonna have to do that on your own, but you can see the rim came out super great, came out really great, and hopefully it did on your side as well. But this is where I'm gonna end this video, and like I said, there's a link in the description for you guys to join our Discord channel. Make sure you do that, because sometimes before actually making this tire, I streamed a what do you call it, a behind the scene of me getting the whole process before actually making the tutorial, just so I don't have any issues along the way. So those are the kind of stuff I'm going to be doing over there. I'm just going to be randomly making some streams over there. So if you want to watch it, you can just join it, or you can just go ahead and then make your own as well. If you want to, you can play whatever you want to do. I mean, you can do whatever you want to do there. Just go on in and join it, the link in the description, and do whatever you want to do. Alright, so this is the part I'm going to end this video, and let's bring everything back and see how this looks along with it. So Alt and H. Alright, we don't need this anymore. Let's get rid of that. And you can see that it's going to look really good. So yeah, this is where I'm going to end this part. I'm going to do the knots and everything else off camera, and then hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video.